How many questions about your land development project or your real estate transaction will I answer without a retainer or a deposit? In other words, if I'm not under contract and you haven't given me any money, how many questions will I answer? I'll give you a hint. It's not more than a dozen. So, and in fact, it's way less than a dozen. So I want to just give you an example. The reason I'm filming this video is this comes up a lot. It happened to me last week, and it happens a lot. I would say it happens at least a couple times a month, maybe more. I get an email like this. So I want to read you this email. This is from Fernando. So he says, my name is Fernando, and I would like to inquire about the subdivision process and costs here in Stanislaus County for this specific property. All right. He says, I just would like to ask some of the following questions. So then he has a list of questions. Can this parcel be subdivided? What is the minimum lot size for subdividing? Is a zoning change required? Are there any road standards that would apply to the project? Are there any requirements that utilities be run to the newly created parcels? What is required to subdivide the parcel? Please include all costs. Is there a limit to how many times it can be split or divided? Approximately how long does the process take? What is the cost to subdivide the parcels into 2 lots of 4.8 acres or possibly 3 lots of 3.2 acres? What are all the costs in general to subdivide this property? How much will everything be? Lastly, if you have any insights into the costs from the county. He says, please call me at this phone number to answer my questions. All right, now, I don't think Fernando's a bad guy. Here's what irritates me. Fernando could answer a bunch of these questions with the videos that are already on my YouTube channel, right? But he doesn't know I have a YouTube channel. I'll tell you why he doesn't know. He doesn't know I have a YouTube channel because he sent this email to 52 different surveyors, right? He spammed them, and I got spammed too, right? And so this is not the type of client I want, right? This is a guy that, is trying to extract value with no respect for the professional's time that he's talking to. So, well, why won't I do this? If you send me an email like this, I'm not going to answer all your questions. I'm not even going to call you on the phone and answer all your questions, especially if you're a stranger. I don't even like doing this for people I know. So why not? Why won't I respond to this kind of email? So I'm going to give you 3 reasons, and they're all important. I'm not just trying to be a jerk. Okay, so here's the first reason. First reason is liability. Okay, if I give you advice or answers to questions like this and you rely on it to your detriment, in other words, you're harmed from following my advice, you can sue me. And I can have to pay you a lot of money. So I'm not going to do that for free, right? And how do I fix that? The way I fix that is you and I sign an agreement, a legal agreement. And the legal agreement spells out what I'm going to do and what you're going to do and what I'm not going to do and what you're not going to do and what type of advice from me you can rely on and what type of advice from me you can't rely on and how much you can sue me for if you rely on my advice and it turns out that I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's really important. You want to have an agreement. I want to have an agreement with you before I give you advice, okay, or answer questions. The second reason I won't provide answers to a dozen questions like this in an email is there's just a lack of clarity on the roles, right? You don't know who I am or what I'm doing. I don't know who you are and what you're trying to do. One of the things I talk about in some of my other videos, it's really important to get a good fit between client and consultant. And how do I fix that? I fix that with a written scope of services that gets included with the agreement. It's a very specific document. It tells you exactly what I'm going to do, what I'm not going to do, what my role in the project is going to be, some understandings and assumptions about the work the services that are going to be performed, and about the project that I'm working on, right? So it's really important. That written scope of services seeks to clarify my role and your role and the project that we're working on. Okay, the third reason I don't answer all the questions sent to me in an email like this is because it would waste a huge amount of my time. I've learned the hard way the first couple years that I've been in business for myself, that people will do this to me and they're not serious about actually spending money on the transaction or the development project, or they're talking to 14 different guys like me or gals like me. And I don't have time to waste with people like that. I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but I need to spend my time helping the clients that are actually paying my bills. They deserve my time. People like this don't deserve my time. And, you know, it's not that I don't want to educate people. I do. I think it's important as a licensed professional to educate people about what it is you do and why it's important. That's why I record these videos and have a YouTube channel. That is way more effective, and I reach way more people that way than I do by responding to case-by-case bulleted question lists like this. So if you want to be educated, check out our YouTube channels. Don't send me this kind of email. Now, to be fair, I might, if you catch me in a good mood, I might answer this first question on his list if he called here, Fernando's list. So if you call here and say, hey, I've got a parcel that I inherited, or I'm thinking about buying the parcel next door, and I'm curious if I would be able to subdivide it. If I'm in a good mood, I might take a quick look at the zoning regs and give you an idea an idea, not a guarantee, an idea of if you can or can't. And then if you can, I'll tell you, all right, if you want to answer some more of these questions to find out if you have a profitable land development project, potentially, you can put me under contract, and I will do that. So don't email or call a land surveyor or a private land planner like me with a list of a dozen or more questions and expect answers without a contract and a deposit paid, right? This is a licensed professional. The answers to these questions are complicated and not always clear cut, and you need to respect that professional, and you need to pay for his or her time.